You are listening to A Scary State, and this week we're covering... How should I do it?
Oh, how the turntables!
We're talking about Valentine's Day things. So, Kenzie?
Yes, Lord.
Let's get scary.
Woo!
Well, I was like...
You better keep that in there.
I was gonna say, oh, we're mixing it up. But I always say that when we do something different, so...
Usually, I think I've said we have a special episode.
Yeah, I know, but we say that every time, and I wanted to mix it up this time.
You should have done some pre-planning.
Well, I didn't think about it until we were recording. Okay, one time.
So, I'm pretty sure there's a ghost in my apartment.
Well, we already knew this, but what is your confirmed reasoning?
So, over the weekend, you know the, baker's rack thing I have that has all the, wine glasses and whatnot? Mm-hmm. Well, I have shot glasses on there, too. And I'm sitting in the living room, I was doing homework, and all of a sudden I hear a tink. And I, look over, and it doesn't look like none of them had fallen over.
Uh-huh.
None of them had fallen down. None of them, nothing fell into another one.
Right.
It was just, tink.
Did it happen again?
So then...
Oh.
Monday night, on top of my fridge is, I call it my, not my spice cabinet, because I don't have a spice cabinet. I have a spice Tupperware drawer. I mean, Tupperware container. It's just a plastic container of all my spices.
Easy to see, yes.
Right. And so I put it up on top of my fridge, and I had one that was out for when my friend Lindsay was in town. We made pizza and put, the red pepper flakes.
Mm-hmm. You had the red pepper
no,
flakes?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, my goodness.
A lot of the spices I have are for other people. I have pepper. I don't ever use pepper. It's for other people.
Right, yes.
So, but it was I didn't put it back in. I just put it right on top of the box. Mm-hmm. And I had slid the box over so that over the weekends I can put my lunchbox up there too. Mm-hmm. But it had been slid over for a couple days. It's not like I just moved it.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting in my room doing homework and I heard something fall. And so I'm looking out into the living room and I can't see anything immediately out into my living area. So I'm slowly walking out there and I peek around to the living room. I look under things.
Oh my gosh.
What the fuck was that? And so then I go into my kitchen and the spice thingy was almost by my dishwasher.
For those of you who haven't seen Mackenzie's kitchen, that's kind of a distance.
Right. And I guess it could have rolled, but I just heard the smack on the ground because where it was and how it would have fallen, I don't get how it would have fallen that far.
Yeah.
And
how you wouldn't have heard it roll.
Right. And I'm okay, maybe if it hit the fridge and then bounced. But I only heard one
You would have heard too, yeah.
Right. And it was not on its side, it was up. So it's not it rolled.
Oh, ew!
No, I'm sorry. On top of the fridge.
Oh my god, I was gonna say, Mackenzie! Sorry. I was gonna say, I'll help you move tomorrow.
I would not have waited this long to tell you this story. No. I mean, on top of the fridge, it was upright, not on its side, so it didn't roll off the fridge.
Well, ew. That's still really
creepy.
I,
stared at it for a second, and I was okay, I'm gonna go put this back.
Maybe that's Albert's way of saying, you didn't put this away. Might as well do that.
Okay, so I got new lamps.
Oh, yeah.
Which means I put the flickering lamp out back into the living room. And the lamp that I have is almost essentially the same kind, just a little bit smaller. And I've turned it all the way up to the brightest one. Mm-hmm. Doesn't flicker.
Maybe that was Albert's way of talking to you. And now that you've moved the lamps, he's all right, well, something else has to happen.
I haven't yet turned that lamp on all the way in the living room.
Ooh, do it.
Yeah.
Tonight.
No.
Why not?
I don't know, but it was just kind of creepy.
That's really creepy.
Especially the shot, it was just a tink.
Yeah.
I was expecting to look up and seeing, like, something had fallen over.
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything.
Ew.
And nothing is, like, stacked.
Yeah.
And so it's not like something was falling into place.
And, like, the main door of your building didn't, like, slam or anything.
Nope.
Ew.
Yep.
Well, that's fun.
So okay, because I also thought the light thing with Albert. I was like, okay, well, I moved the lamp. Is this, like, is he trying to tell me something? Like, does he keep knocking shit over?
Right.
To get my attention about something?
Listen to me.
But I don't know what it is. And I was really freaked out when the thing fell off of the fridge because I thought it was a mouse again. And so I was really, like, creeping very slowly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I swear. And one of my cabinets was kind of open.
Oh.
And I was like, you open that. You open that. You probably opened that.
Maybe you opened that.
In the moment, I could think of when I opened it and why I opened it.
Yeah.
But then when I went to go pick up the spice thing, I couldn't remember why I opened it.
Do you not always close your cabinets?
No, I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I was very freaked out.
That's really creepy,
When I
Kenzie.
picked up the spice thing again, I was like, I gotta remember to tell Lauren there's a fucking ghost in here.
Ooh, yeah, there might be.
Manifesting is real.
We've talked about him too much.
At first we were joking, and now it's real.
He feels so comfortable, though.
Actually, this is all your fault. Because you are the one who said, there's this random sweater vest in here. I don't know who it belongs to. And you're like, maybe it's a ghost.
Because I say that for everything.
Yeah, well, now look what you did.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really do hope that if it is a ghost, it is Albert, and I got really lucky on the name or something. But he's, like, as friendly as I hope he is, because...
Yeah. I mean, so far he seems really nice.
Like, I fucking kept the sweater vest.
Exactly.
I'm a psychopath.
You are, but that's okay. I would have done the same thing.
Well, now I'm really scared. So I don't want to get rid of it.
You literally can never get rid of it. No. Until you move. Ooh, you should leave it there for the next resident.
I am.
Yeah.
And if they get rid of it, then Albert will haunt them.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just visiting me.
Or he lives there. He found out you were nice and open to it, and that's why he showed himself.
He's a naked ghost.
Have you ever done that when you took, like, a collar off of a dog and you go, oh, you're
naked? I say that to Roy all the time because he never wears one.
I know.
Naked boy.
He looks so much more comfy without one.
That's fair. Whenever I would take Jimmy's off, he would just get so overexcited. And I would, like, hold it out to him for him to sniff.
Yep.
And then he would go, and I'm like, yeah, that's you.
That's how
That's
you smell.
what you smell like. It's stinky to me, too.
The same would happen with my parents' dog, like Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would do the same. I would take her collar off and she would, like, kind of be really confused by it. And I'm like, this is yours. Like, you are wearing this.
I think dogs just get excited when we talk in that high-pitched voice, but they don't know why.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've said things to Roy like, oh my God, you're so stupid. And he, like, jumps around all excited. My mom thinks he's ugly. I think he's the cutest thing.
What?
But she'll talk in the high-pitched voice and she'll be like, oh, you're so ugly. And his tail just wags.
You are not ugly. No, you're not. You are cute.
I know. I think he's cuter than her dog, but... All right, so Mackenzie.
Valentine's Day.
What are things about Valentine's Day?
I will tell you as soon as my computer logs on.
I had an ex who broke up with me a couple days before Valentine's Day.
My dog died a couple of days before Valentine's Day.
We're off to a great start.
My friend Ben was like, so what are we going to do for the Super Bowl this year? I'm like, I don't know. Last year my dog died, so...
Kenzie.
And then it got even worse. So my friend Grace snapped me. She snapped me, and she has a golden named Charlotte. And she sent me a picture of her, and she was like, sometimes I cry just knowing that one day you're going to die. And I was like, yeah, I thought that too, and then it happened.
So dark, Mackenzie.
I know. But it's funny.
At least you can laugh about it now.
Now. We're coming up on a year.
Oh.
Yeah. Miss him every day.
Maybe it's his little spirit coming to say hi.
Oh, I'd like that.
Yeah.
His tail whacking into things.
Right.
I could see that.
Okay.
I would like that.
That's what we'll say.
Okay. That works.
It's his little spirit saying hi.
We would. Well, we'll go with that. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
Valentine's Day.
Some people might not know.
For those of you that don't know, Valentine's Day is celebrated on February 14th. You know, if I was our listener, I would be insulted at how stupid you think we are.
I don't know if other countries celebrate on the same day.
Is this an American thing? That came from your bathroom.
I'm gonna close that door. I can see the mirror and I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Give me that face.
Sorry.
You scared me. Okay.
We're never going to make it to a haunted house because one of us is going to scream. It's going to run out and that'll be it. That'll be the entire thing.
We egg each other on way too much.
Oh my god. Maybe I shouldn't watch a scary movie with you for the first time.
Yes.
No, because you're just going to make it worse.
No, I won't, I promise.
Ay, ay, ay. The most popular origin story for Valentine's Day goes back to 270 AD. Actually, did you know it's called CE now?
Oh.
Current era.
Ah.
Just saying.
Thank you.
During the reign of Claudius II, a Roman emperor who was known as Claude the Terrible or something awful. He was not a good...
This story talks about him not being good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So he believed that single men were better soldiers, so he prohibited marriage. Good for him. But Bishop Valentine wasn't about that, and he continued to secretly marry couples, but he was soon caught and imprisoned for treason. He was executed on February 14th, which is when we now celebrate St. Valentine. Behind Christmas, Valentine's Day is the most popular day for sending cards, with close to 1 billion being sent each year on this day, and with the first one being sent in 1477.
Wow.
Interesting. In Victorian times, rude cards, known as vinegar valentines, were sent instead, and they would go something like this. Here's a pretty cool reception, at least you'll say there's no deception. It says as plain as it can say, old fellow, you'd best stop away.
Yeah, like, go away. It's Victorian times. Of course it doesn't make sense.
In my freshman year English class, she gave us Romeo and Juliet, but she gave us like the translated version.
Oh.
I still couldn't fucking tell you what was going on.
Nope.
No idea.
Nope.
So confusing.
That's why it was great watching the version with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
Because then even if you couldn't understand anything, you could see
it
what
literally
was happening.
sounded like, I was like, this is what people who don't speak English must hear.
Right, when they watch a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Because holy fuck, it's like a new language.
It really is. They should have subtitles down at the bottom.
Yeah, right. Have it dubbed over. So you know the saying, wear your heart on your sleeve? This came from the Middle Ages. Men and women would draw a name from a bowl to see who their Valentine would be. They would then wear that piece of paper with the name on their sleeve for a week. That's, yeah. You asshole.
Me? Oh.
Sorry, I think you do this shit on purpose. In Finland, they celebrate Ystävänpäivä.
That sounded amazing.
Thank you. How do you actually say it?
I don't know.
Are
you going to look it up?
Absolutely, I'm going to look it up. Ystävänpäivä.
I think you were close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They celebrate Ystävänpäivä, which translates to Friends Day. It is a day to celebrate your friends.
Which is so cute.
I do love that. We're having a Palentine's Day.
Oh, cute.
We're going to make pizza.
I love it.
Have wine.
Amazing.
Yes. Cupid is a symbol of Valentine's Day because he's the son of Venus, who is the Roman god of love and beauty. In the U.S., 64% of men don't make plans for Valentine's Day in advance. You don't say.
I asked Joe, I said, do you have plans for Valentine's Day? Because it's hard because his birthday is the day before. And so he was like, yeah, I do. I said, do you? He goes, yeah, I do. But I'm not going to tell you what they are. And I'm like, all right, we'll see.
I don't believe in Valentine's Day. I think it's stupid.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Just like, you have to have a day to tell me you love me?
We're celebrating St. Valentine.
Sure. I could get on board with celebrating a person.
Okay.
Yeah. So, apparently teachers end up receiving the most Valentine's Day cards.
Is
Facts.
that true?
Yes, because we get the cards that the kids will make, like, you know, in the exchange.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, we also get, like, cards
Oh, cute.
and a fuck ton of chocolate.
Nice.
Not always. Sometimes I'll get, like, a mug with, like, a stuffed animal in it.
Oh.
Still have one that's sitting on. That's why I have so many fucking mugs.
Ah. Yeah. Mugs are also a really easy gift.
I love mugs.
I do too. We have so many, and Joe's like, we need to get rid of some. And I'm like, but there's none we can get rid of.
Did you see that thing I put on my story the other day?
Which one?
Where it was like, I own 42 mugs. 2 are perfect, 3 are acceptable, and the rest are ghouls sent from hell to torment my available storage but can never be disposed of.
Yup.
And he sent it to me, he goes, you. I was like, I feel seen.
But I have like so many fun ones that I can never get rid of them.
No. Nope.
I have like my holiday ones. I have my cute ones. I have my
ones that
durable
people gave
ones.
me.
Yeah, I have ones people gave me.
Can't get rid of it. Globally, there are over 200,000 wedding proposals done on Valentine's Day.
Shocking.
That's a cop out. So
Why?
unoriginal.
It's not it's not a. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I was going to say, it's not that it's a cop out. It is unoriginal, but if you make it a nice proposal, then it's original.
No.
Joe and I got engaged 2 days after Valentine's Day.
Yes, I know.
And I know.
I was there.
I know you are.
It is illegal to celebrate in Indonesia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and some parts of Russia. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In 2010, Mexico City broke the record for the world's largest
Yeah, I don't know how that worked.
group kiss with 39,000. Ugh, that's disgusting. 897 participants. That's disgusting.
See, I don't know if that means they all were like kissing
That's an
each
odd
other.
number. That is an odd number. Just so you know.
There are probably a couple thruples in there.
There had to have been, because that is a odd fucking number.
Yeah, it is.
So you're right. Maybe there was a throuple.
I think I am right. Thank you.
It's still a lot of people and still really gross. On Valentine's Day, you have the opportunity to buy a cockroach, name it after an ex, then watch it be fed to an animal, like a meerkat and any other animal who eats cockroaches. A kiss on Valentine's Day is said to bring good luck all year. Durex, the condom company, said that condom sales increased by 20 to 30% around Valentine's Day. A lot of people are using protection. The conversation?
Mackenzie.
I'm dyslexic.
The true dyslexia came out there.
So it was really bad. Sorry. Those conversation hearts have a shelf life of 5 years. That's gross.
I know.
Did you know that a heart is the shape that it is because when you put 2 human hearts together, that's what it makes?
Oh, that's a lot cuter than what I heard. I once heard it's what a woman looks like when she bends over. What her butt looks like. I know. I was like middle school or high school days. Someone said that and you're like, oh, so inappropriate.
Stupid. Anthophobia is the fear of flowers. That sounds terrible.
It really does.
Love flowers.
I do too.
The city of Verona, Italy, receives thousands of letters addressed to Juliet each year. Volunteers from the Juliet Club will respond to each letter, and will try to find the most romantic one. The club will award the Cara Giulietta, Dear Juliet, award to the person who wrote the most romantic letter.
I tried to find it online and I couldn't find it.
Oh,
I know.
it would have been so pretty. Some important things that happened on Valentine's Day. UPS was formed in 1919. In 1920, the League of Women Voters was established.
Hell yeah.
Aretha Franklin recorded Respect in 1967. Damn straight. In 1971, Richard Nixon installed a secret taping system in the White House. Voyager 1 took a picture of the entire solar system in 1990. And some famous people born on Valentine's Day are Simon Pegg, who is an actor. Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
Teller of Penn and Teller. Jake Lacey, who's also an actor. And not famous, but our friend Chris and my cousin. Well, Lauren's cousin. And Joe was born on February 13th.
I just had to throw this in.
Oh, my friend Ariana's born on Valentine's Day.
Oh my goodness. How many Valentine's Day birthdays?
So many.
Well, the story I have for you today is not very much filled with love. I bring you a love triangle from 2019. Amanda Michelle Naylor was adopted by Alan and Gwen Holm when she was a child. Not much is known about her childhood, other than that her biological father had been a bad guy and was sentenced to 17 and a half years in jail when Amanda was only 9. She also had a biological sister named Anna, who was 10 at the time. It is unknown if both girls had been adopted by the same family, but either way, the 2 daughters were adopted and lost contact with their father, eventually becoming estranged from him. As the girls grew up, they ended up in different places. Anna Marie Chowdhury ended up in Boone, North Carolina, and Amanda Michelle Naylor ended up in Chisago City, Minnesota. Eventually, in 2018, when Amanda was 31, she was engaged to a man named John Thomas McGuire, a man aged 38 who was originally from Minnesota. So I read a weird post. Minnesota. I read a weird post on Facebook. There were a lot of Facebook posts. So in 2018, she made it official that she was engaged to John. You know, Facebook official. A man commented on the Facebook announcement saying, quote, "Hi, so what this about? Thought I was going to hook up with you, LOL."
The fuck?
John, her now fiance, replied to the guy saying, "Well, not anymore." And their spelling's not great. But life took a weird turn in 2019. In February, Amanda and John were traveling down south to, at some point, see John's mother. As the pair was traveling through Minnesota, quote, dope sick, their car ended up breaking down in Indiana. That's what the article said. I didn't say dope sick. The article did. Who came to help them out? Well, her sister Anna, who was now 32, and her previously estranged birth father, Larry Paul McClure, 55, originally from Pendleton, Kentucky. That's so weird. So I was not able to find out how Amanda and Anna got back in touch with their dad, or how they were all connected again, or if they had been connected and adopted with the same family. I don't know. But anywho, this group of 4 is now traveling from Indiana to Skydusky in McDowell County, West Virginia, where Larry lived. Larry had recently been released from prison on sex offense charges.
Oh, no.
Larry was living in Skydusky since his release. The group finally arrives at Larry's home in Skydusky, I said that a lot, and all start to settle in. I think here it's important to mention that the whole group, all 4 of them, were heavily involved in drugs, all addicted, and all using very heavily. So
I thought they were going to see...
that was going to be at, I don't know why they were going to end up at Larry's or why they ended up there, but at some point they were going to make it down to go see his mom, who lived somewhere down south.
Okay.
So after just about a week, John and or Amanda decided that they wanted to make some meth. Casual. So Larry went to the local drugstores and even stopped off in Virginia to get the needed ingredients, because they're in West Virginia, so very close. But they're not scientists, so their meth didn't come out correctly. It wasn't forming the crystals that are needed for meth, so it was remaining in its liquid form, but regardless, Amanda kept the failed liquid meth in a jar. Overall, the whole visit was going well, but just a few days after the meth fail, things started to take a dark turn. It was a Thursday morning, and Larry was sitting out on his porch when Amanda came out and sat next to him. She casually mentioned that she wanted to kill John. She must have already had a plan in place, because she then told Larry that she would need some rope for this plan. Larry must have provided, because later that day, Amanda was cutting some rope into strips. On February 14th, John came home with a bottle of wine that he had picked up for Valentine's Day, which made my heart hurt. The 4 sat down to a nice Valentine's Day dinner of steak, potatoes, and, of course, wine. Much of what follows is according to Anna, the sister. So this is when, quote, things started to get strange. They finished their meal, then Larry suggested that they play a game. A trust game. This came after Amanda had been bragging about being able to get out of anything. She had been able to tie herself up in a very weird way, and untie herself as well, using these fun ropes she had cut up earlier. The next person up for the game was John. He was tied up and was able to get most of himself untied. The last thing he had left to untie were his feet. That is when Amanda quickly stood up, grabbed the wine bottle, and, with John bending over focusing on untying his feet, bashed him over the head with it. Shocked, John reared up, sitting back into the chair holding his head. Larry then looked up at Anna and said that if she knew what was best for her children and wanted to live, she would follow all instructions given to her by Larry from that moment on.
Is Larry the dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Larry's the dad. Amanda and Anna are the sisters.
Okay.
Amanda is dating John. John is the one who was just smashed in the head.
And she wants to kill John for whatever he said.
Yes.
Got it.
So we have 4 people.
Okay.
With John incapacitated, Larry and Amanda tied him up. This is when the 2 started yelling at John, accusing him of being a federal informant and demanding that he tell them who he really was. He kept trying to tell them that they had the wrong person. He had no idea what they were talking about. It wasn't him. They had the wrong person. He kept trying to show his social security card number, telling him to look it up. He wasn't an informant, trying to prove that he doesn't know what they're talking about. This all must have been too much for Anna, because at some point she had tried to leave the residence and get away from all of this.
Yeah.
But Larry and Amanda made sure that she wouldn't be leaving. This was the start of a horrific few days for John. The trio of Larry, Amanda, and Anna tortured John throughout the night. This torture started on Thursday, February 14th and went till Saturday, February 16th. At one point, they moved him to one of the bedrooms where they hogtied him with a rope around his neck.
Oh my God.
He was beaten, yelled at, and threatened. One of these threats being that they would get the truth out of him about the whole informant thing by injecting him with sodium pentothal, or more commonly known as truth serum. They also threatened to inject him with the serum, put him in the back of their truck, drive him to Minnesota, and leave him there, quote, for everybody to find. Which I guess meant keeping him alive and just kicking him out of the car, which I think would be like the best situation.
Yeah.
But just then, Amanda pulled out 2 syringes. Anna said that she later learned that these syringes were filled with, quote, a bad batch of meth.
Oh,
The bad batch that Amanda had put into a jar. Anna was then told that, due to her having nursing experience, she was going to be the one to inject John with the syringes. She was also instructed to inject them into his carotid artery. She did what she was told, with Amanda exclaiming afterwards that dose should be enough to kill him, talking about John.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sad spoiler alert, it wasn't enough. John was still alive, and that bad meth actually gave him superhuman strength and a burst of energy for a bit.
Ooh.
He tried to fight back, but it just wasn't enough. When he had come down a bit, Anna was forced to finish him off by strangling him, and that's what she did.
Anna?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep, they forced Anna to do it. So Larry stood on John's back, which caused John's face to be pushed into a cushion. The rope that had been around his neck had never been removed, and that was pulled by Anna. The whole while, Amanda, John's girlfriend, was sitting next to his head laughing and taunting him, asking him if he really thought they were going to actually take him back up north. Anna kept pulling on the rope until John went limp. The trio then put John's body in a black garbage bag, and his belongings were brought out to a bonfire to be burned. So the 3 then put his body into the back of their pickup truck and drove around the neighborhood and town trying to figure out what to do with it. But being unable to think of anything else, the trio decided on just digging a hole in the backyard and disposing of the body that way. Larry said, quote, "It was 2 to 3 days of hell. Later that morning, we buried him in a 2-foot grave behind the house." Anna said that after they had buried John, Amanda and Larry acted as though nothing had happened, as if they hadn't just murdered a man. So around this time, a post went out on Facebook from a concerned family member of John's. The post stated that they were worried as no one had heard from John since February 18th. Well, we now know that John was killed around February 16th, with his torture beginning February 14th. That means that someone in that house, Anna, Amanda, or Larry, were posting as John in the days following his murder.
Oh, wow.
There were also other posts that were posted on February 15th. Again, we know that he was not good at this point. The post said, quote, "Job completed. The Firefox is dead. Ha ha ha. The Mad Hatter." And then, quote, "You all are," expletive, "just like Firefox, and you will all end up the same way. Ha ha ha."
Why'd you say expletive?
Because that's what it said in the quote.
Oh.
Yeah. It didn't tell me what it said, so I was like,
okay.
We're just gonna put this in how it says.
Okay.
All right. Then anywhere from 6 days to 2 weeks later, depending on sources, Amanda insisted that she wanted proof that John was actually dead.
She was fucking there.
I know. They're not a smart group.
No shit.
So she made Anna dig up the body.
Oh my God.
But now, I say it again, Amanda is not the smartest. She said that she didn't believe that John was actually dead, the man who had been buried for a week, with no food or water for a week. But she said she didn't believe he was actually dead because the hair on his head was still growing.
What?
So a little bit of science. Once you die, your hair and nails don't continue to grow, but it will look like they do. This is because when you die, your body loses moisture and starts to essentially shrink. So your nail beds and skin starts to come back and shrink, causing more of your nails and hair to be visible. So it never grew, but it will look like it did.
Right.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, Amanda said that John wasn't dead, so Larry decided to make sure that he was. He took bed rails and a sledgehammer and used those rails and hammer to pound the rails into his body and into the ground.
Oh my God.
To make sure that John really was dead. Now get ready for a twist.
Oy.
All right. After John's body was buried, Amanda and Larry started a relationship.
Ew!
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Just 3 weeks after John McGuire, Amanda's boyfriend, was murdered, she married her biological father, Larry, which is why her name is now Amanda Michelle Naylor McClure, taking her father's last name.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it gets worse. The two had crossed state lines and were wed in Tazewell County, Virginia. They were married on March 11th, 2019 by a United Methodist Church minister of the gospel. Interesting fact, on the biological father line of the marriage certificate, she listed a different man's name.
Oh, she's gonna have to.
Yup. But, did you know, marriage between a father and daughter is illegal in Virginia?
Illegal?
Illegal.
As it should be.
As it should be. Tazewell County Sheriff Brian Hyatt says that this crime is actually a misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months in jail. I told my mom this morning, and she goes, "So when they get out of jail, can they, go back to being married? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it means that their marriage is no longer valid, so no. Anna was forced to be the witness for the couple and was told that she needed to act like a happy witness. Later, a criminal complaint filed by West Virginia State Police Trooper K.M. Sadler revealed that Larry and Amanda were biological father and daughter and had been having sexual intercourse at the Skydusty residence. I know. So, they're married. They return home as newlyweds. But instead of celebrating this fucked up milestone, they dig up John's body again, dismember it, then reburied the remains in 2 separate places with quicklime to help speed up decomposition. And here's the gross part. So Anna, spoiler alert, she has to go on the stand for trial. And she's talking about like how she was forced to do a lot of this stuff. And she's like, yeah, his body had already been in rigor mortis at this point. And she said breaking those bones, like breaking the rigor mortis is a sound she never wants to hear again. It's like, you should have never freaking heard it in the first place. So Larry decided that he wanted to landscape the property before selling it, as they all planned to move to Kentucky, and they didn't want the remains to be found on the property, which is why they buried it somewhere else. Still on the property, but at this point, Anna was finally allowed to return back to her home in North Carolina. This is also when Larry was arrested again on sexual offense charges. So let's back up quickly. Remember how I mentioned that Larry had been a bad guy and spent some time in jail, which is why his daughters were adopted in the first place? Well, back in July of 1998, Larry had been convicted of first-degree sexual assault. His victim had been a young girl, one source said a family member, who was between the ages of 6 and 12. This is the crime that he served the 17 and a half years for. He should be
fucking dead.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is when his daughters were adopted. So because of this charge, every time he moves, he's required to register with the West Virginia State Police as a sex offender, which you have to do if you're a sex offender.
Right.
Well, I guess he didn't do that when he arrived in West Virginia, so he was rearrested for failure to comply with that. While in custody, Larry admitted to one other crime he had been involved in. He admitted to the murder of John McGuire and told police exactly where they would be able to find the body.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
We never find out why.
Oh my God.
So police obviously took this confession and ran with it, and John McGuire's body was discovered exactly where Larry said it would be on September 24th, 2019, only 7 months later. So in late 2019, the trio was charged with the first-degree murder of John McGuire. Additional charges were added to include conspiracy and concealment of a deceased human body. From there, they had 3 preliminary hearings and the grand jury presentment. Trooper Sadler, the one who we talked about a little bit earlier, even said that there would be more charges filed. He stated mainly the marriage, duh.
Yeah.
But other acts as well, and those will be getting a deeper review pending the grand jury indictments. But I didn't find anything on these additional charges.
Yeah.
And trust me, I looked.
Yeah.
So let's start with Larry. On November 4th, 2019, officials and authorities at the McDowell court received an unusual letter. It said, quote, I just want it over. No trial, no taxpayers' money spent on a trial. It is hard for the state of West Virginia to fight against itself because I plead guilty, no contest. Thank you for your time on this matter.
The fuck?
It was signed by Larry Paul McClure Sr.
Oh my God.
In the letter, he also detailed...
Senior?
He's like a senior, I guess.
Oh.
Which means he must have a son. But nowhere did I find anything about a son. And it's one of those cases where when I first looked it up, I was like, pages and pages of this case. All said the exact same thing.
I feel like we both have similar cases because mine also involves stupid people.
Oh, Valentine's
Not
makes
this
people
stupid, but
this is so bad. So in the letter, he also detailed the murder and the role that his daughters had in it as well. Larry stated that his daughter Amanda was the ringleader of the whole operation. He even referred to her as, quote, the female Charles Manson. We have been talking about him so much lately.
Also, you fucking married her.
Right.
Oh my God.
But at this point, it seems like he's just trying to throw everyone under the bus. He then stated that he doesn't even know what Amanda's motive for the murder was. But he did accuse Amanda of spending the money that John was receiving through those monthly Social Security checks, even after his death. Larry stated that he planned to plead guilty or no contest to the crime, like he said in the note. He said that he is old and in bad health. He won't make it to see the parole board in 15 years, so he doesn't really care what his sentence is. During the trial, his defense attorney, Marcia Hebb, told the court that her client Larry would feel safe and more secure in a prison environment. She also asked if her client would be able to be put into protective custody while in prison because his 2 daughters, Amanda and Anna, were in gangs.
What? What?
One was in the Mongols, and one was in Hell's Angels, and Larry felt unsafe about that.
What?
What
the fuck?
Nowhere is that proven. Okay.
Oh my God.
Things then get juicy at this point in Larry's trial. I only found this bombshell in one article, so I can't really confirm it, but it was too good to not mention. Okay. So this came out during Larry's trial. Apparently, before John had dated Amanda, the man murdered, he had dated someone else. That someone else being Anna, Amanda's own sister. Amanda had no idea that her sister and her boyfriend were having an affair, and also apparently during that affair, Anna got pregnant and had a child.
What? What? She had a whole ass kid?
Apparently.
I don't understand.
Trust me, I read that and I was like, what? And I'm like,
What? Oh.
So Judge Ed Cornish of the McDowell County Circuit Court was the one presiding over this whole case. He was shocked by this information and asked Larry if Anna had told Amanda about her child, to which Larry confirmed. So apparently Amanda knew that Anna had a child. I don't know if she knew that it was with John, but she knew her sister had a child. So Larry said that this is what made his daughters decide to kill John. So I guess Amanda did find out about the affair. I don't know. So the two daughters apparently decided on this death together. And then this goes against what he said at the beginning of the trial about being unsure about what Amanda's motives were. So we're kind of all over the place with him. Well, on July 16th, 2020, Larry officially pled guilty to the first-degree murder charge. And on August 12th, 2020, he was sentenced to life in prison without mercy, which means he won't be eligible for parole.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this decision came from the fact that Larry showed zero remorse during his trial, said the judge. The last thing that Judge Cornish said to Larry before his sentencing was, quote, "This was not a single violent act. It was a conscious decision. You tortured this man for 3 days before you killed him." Larry.
I'm still waiting for, like, Amanda and Anna and, like, what happens with them.
Oh, trust me, now we're on to Amanda.
Hold on, let me drink some water.
Oh my God, I was watching a commercial the other day, and they were, like, showing Coke or something, like Pepsi, and the guy who drinks it, he chugs twice, and I said, oh, I found a job for Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could never be on a TV show and have to fake drink.
No, you could not. When I was in a play in middle school, we had to drink and eat salad, but it was like bear salad, and it was sparkling cider.
What play were you in middle school?
Hello, Dolly, in 8th grade.
I don't remember. I remember going to see Hello, Dolly.
Oh, yeah. I sat at a table. But we sat and we ate dry, no seasoned salad.
Susical Jr.
Yep, I was in that as well.
Me too.
Yeah.
We were Who's.
Who's down in Whoville? I'm always the short people. When I was in The Wizard of Oz, I was a munchkin. Like, and our drama teacher was like, I have to do heights this way. If you're over, like, this height, you're in the Emerald City. If you're under this height, you're a munchkin. All right, so to Amanda. On October 1st, 2020, Amanda McClure came before Judge Ed Cornish over Skype. So remember, we're still in big COVID time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God, this is like recent.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is weird.
Yeah, so it had to be over Skype. So Karen Smith, John McGuire's mother, was also on the call. Amanda's adoptive parents, the Holmes, were on the call as well. Judge Cornish started the Skype call by apologizing to Smith, which was very sweet. He just seems like a really great judge.
Sure.
The hearing then began with Amanda asking the court for mercy and apologizing to McGuire's family. Gross. She said, quote, "I have to look at myself every day. My family didn't raise me to be this way. I've not only hurt John's family, I've hurt my own family."
It's weird.
Really? Are they similar?
Not like yes and no. It's just like the way that the case goes is very similar to yours. Like someone just like spills the beans for essentially no reason, and then like the person who like is responsible for it is very much like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, if you were really sorry, you wouldn't have done it.
Right.
Smith then spoke on behalf of herself, her son, and her grandchildren. She stated that she knew that Amanda had taken John's checks after the murder, but she still questioned why the murder had occurred in the first place. She then had a great quote in which she said, quote, "I hope that she has a good heart and goes straight with the Lord before she passes. She and her sister and her daddy are going straight to hell."
Hell yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm. Amanda finally interjected.
There is literally a special place in hell.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So Amanda finally interjected in the call and explained to Smith that shortly after they arrived at the Skydusty residence, John had been talking to Larry. John said that he loved Amanda and wanted to marry her. Amanda said that this is what pushed Larry over the edge. That her dad didn't want anyone else near her, and that John saying he wanted to marry her was too much for her dad to handle.
What?
Because he loved her. She then said that she wished she could bring John back because he was a good man. So yeah, her dad was jealous that John of normal age and not related wanted to marry her.
That's disgusting.
But Larry wasn't cool with that.
That's so disgusting.
But this is also in contrast to the motives that her father provided for why the murder had occurred. Amanda also alluded to the fact that her father had complete control over her. She said that control is what brought her to McDowell County. She said, quote, "I still don't know where Sky Dusty is." Judge Cornish said that he understands there was abuse there between the two, Larry and Amanda, but that there is no excuse for murdering John.
No.
The judge also stated that she was lucky this case wasn't going to trial, so she would have easily been convicted of first-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
Cornish didn't seem to like Amanda very much, which was very good. He also pointed out that Amanda had an extensive criminal history, having a rap sheet that was 32 pages long.
Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the 3-strike rule?
I don't know.
Mm.
And this rap sheet included a plethora of drug-related charges. Cornish told Amanda, quote, "I don't think you're taking full responsibility for killing John. You're blaming it on your father. After killing John, you dug him up later. When you all dug him up, his body was dismembered and stakes of some kind were driven through his body. Then you reburied him. There was no reason for this. You said you couldn't contact authorities. I don't believe that." Somehow, Amanda received a plea bargain, dropping what should have been first-degree murder down to second-degree murder, which only carries a penalty of 10 to 40 years.
Shut up. 10
to 40. But the max would be 40. That's it. And she's only 30-something, so she's going to get out when she's 70. Yep. But thankfully, because he had the authority, Cornish was able to sentence Amanda to the maximum sentence that her charge allowed.
Mm-hmm.
She ultimately pled guilty to second-degree murder on July 2020, and on October 1st was sentenced to the maximum term of the 40 years in prison. Cornish's final words to Amanda were, quote, "The time you will serve is not an adequate amount of time for the pain you have caused."
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And only 4 years must have been terrifying to Smith, John's mother, as she said that she still has concerns about McClure getting out of prison one day. She is terrified that when that happens, McClure will come after her and her family. Which is a very valid fear.
Absolutely.
I guess apparently if she's part of a gang.
Yeah.
Then finally we have Anna. Hers took the absolute longest time to get sentenced, like she was the very last one for everything. During her plea hearing, Anna also met with the McDowell County Circuit Court Judge, Ed Cornish. Most of the story we got about the events that transpired came from her hearing.
Mm-hmm.
She explained all of the events and what her role had been. Multiple times throughout her confession, Judge Cornish asked, or more told Anna, that she knew she was wrong when she was strangling John.
Mm-hmm.
To which she replied that yes, she did know that what she was doing was wrong, but she told the judge, "Look at my other options. I didn't feel I had a choice." She brought up the threats that Larry had made to her life and the life of her children, and how on separate occasions she had tried to leave but was always blocked and ordered back. Anna was scheduled to go to trial in February of 2021, so we're like just a year,
Oh my God.
2 years ago, 2023. Her guilty plea of second-degree murder carried a 40-year prison term if convicted. Well, she did end up pleading guilty to the second-degree murder charges. Judge Cornish accepted her plea, stating that there was more than enough evidence to justify accepting her plea of second-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
A new date was set for the actual sentencing. Judge Cornish even stated that it would be difficult to know what kind of a verdict the jury will come up with in a case like this.
Yeah.
He also decided that Anna was guilty, but due to her going to a jury, he didn't get to impose the sentence.
Mm.
He can give his recommendations, I think, but it's
Yeah.
ultimately up to the jury to determine the ultimate sentence. And that came about on Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. The hearing was in McDowell County. Anna was sentenced to the full maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. So Anna, Amanda, and Larry are all serving their sentences in different prisons, all for their involvement in the murder of John McGuire. So to close it out, I wanted to talk about the victim, John McGuire. He was a father of 5 and had been reported missing.
Father of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It's very sad. And had been reported missing in June by the mother of his 3 eldest children, Angela Erickson. He was born and raised in Alabama, so his family and friends lovingly referred to him as Bama. Though he had his many struggles, mainly with drugs, he was described as being a man who loved everyone, and overall he was just a good person. Though he and Angela had gotten a divorce many years ago, she still had love for him, and they co-parented very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
She said, quote, "He had a heart of gold, the gift of gab, and was friends with everyone. I'm going to miss everything about him." So there you have it, the McClure Valentine's Day love triangle murder.
Oh my God.
Yup.
Whew.
Yep.
That was a doozy.
That was a doozy.
That was quite the doozy.
All right, so, Mackenzie, what do you get really mad about with this case?
I don't get really mad. Not with this.
Oh.
With my story.
All right, well, tell me your Valentine's Day case.
So today I bring you the not-so-lovely case of Richard Schoeck. Richard Schoeck was born in June of 1963 in New Jersey. He was married to his wife, Stacy Schoeck, and was Stacy's 5th husband. Richard had adopted Stacy's sons and was known as Daddy Richard. The family lived in Georgia, and they had a loving marriage and were active in their son's Boy Scout troop. Boy Scout troops.
Yeah, there you go.
Richard was a maintenance manager, but was known for being a hot air balloon pilot, an artist, and a caring father.
How unique.
I know, right? He was the type of person you could call on when you needed a helping hand. His nieces referred to him as the cool uncle. One of his nieces, Nicole Flynningham.
Didn't you have a case where you had a really weird name like this? And you pronounce it like Flananan or something?
That was the lighthouse.
Right.
I think it's Filligim.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't say it I say it like twice. So it's okay.
That's why I was stumbling over the last names in my case, because I was like, we're going first names.
Yep. So one of his nieces, Nicole Filligim, said he would roller skate with us or throw a ball with us or color with us. Valentine's Day 2010, Richard and Stacy were planning to meet at Belton Bridge Park to exchange Valentine's Day gifts. Richard had gone to Stacy's grandmother's house for dinner, and Richard left separately from Stacy. Stacy was going to meet him later that evening, and when Stacy arrived, she saw her husband's car with the lights still on and a gruesome scene before her. Her husband had been brutally murdered. When the police arrived at the scene, they noticed that none of Richard's personal belongings had been taken. They found his wallet, money, watch, and wedding ring still in his possession.
Okay, weird.
Richard had been shot 6 times, with 3 shots to the chest, 2 to his head, and 1 in his hand.
Jeez.
I also saw 5, and 1 having gone through his hand.
Yeah, because it seems like that might have been like a defensive one.
Police also noticed a set of tire tracks that did not belong to Richard or Stacy. The police brought Stacy in to get her statement. Stacy told police that it was her weekend to spend with her grandparents. Richard was planning to come by on Sunday, which was Valentine's Day, to cook dinner. Holding back tears, Stacy said, quote, I have my own Valentine's Day stuff for him sitting out on the desk. When he came in, he said, oh, well, mine are out in the truck, but I thought we would do that in the park.
Aww.
She told police that they had planned to meet for a romantic rendezvous in the park to exchange their gifts. Richard had left first, and she followed behind him a bit later when a night nurse had come to care for her grandparents. She told police...
Oh, okay, caring for the grandparents is why she was... Okay.
Yeah. She told police, quote, I think I probably pulled out of the driveway around 9:20 or so. I called Richard and it went to voicemail, and I didn't know why, and I didn't leave a message. When I got there, I knew something was wrong. I could saw his truck immediately. I mean, because the lights were on. And so I pulled down and headed right towards his truck. But as soon as I could see him, you could see him lying on the ground. Stacy wanted to be honest with police and knew they would find out the truth eventually. So she told investigators, quote, I have been having an affair for several, 6 to 7 months.
Oh, that sounded like Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
That's my shocked noise.
Oh. Wow, Goofy. Doesn't sound like Mickey at all. So Stacy worked in administration at Caleb.
Collab sounded better.
It was like Caleb without the E at the end.
Caleb doesn't have an E at the end.
It's Kalb.
Okay, Caleb has an EB.
Oh. So what's this?
Calb?
Maybe. DeKalb?
Sure.
Okay, we'll go with that. Stacy worked in administration at DeKalb County Spine Clinic, where she had met Juan Reyes. Police questioned Reyes and where he was at the time of Richard's murder. One report I read said that he was at home with his wife trying to make it work. And his wife did corroborate. I can't say that word.
Corroborate.
Thank you. His story, even though he was having an affair. But I only saw that in one place. All the other places I've looked, it just said that he was excluded as like a suspect.
So, but we're to assume that his wife knew that there was an affair happening.
Apparently.
Okay.
But later on, his mom says something and it doesn't sound like he's even with this person anymore.
Oh.
So we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, they did discover that Reyes' mother owns a 2009 Impala that had the same tire treads as the one at the park.
Oh.
Police had concluded that whoever was in the car was lying in wait for Richard. Police also discovered that Mrs. Reyes has recently bought the Impala from Stacy in March of 2010. Police collected data from a cell phone tower that was near the area where Richard was murdered. Police noticed several calls made between Stacy and a woman named Lynrita Ross, who worked with Stacy at the clinic. Another report I read claimed that an IT person at the clinic reported to police these emails that Stacy had deleted over the weekend.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how accurate that is.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when the police did get a warrant, they looked into Stacy's bank account and noticed 2 payments made on January 26th and February 12th. One amount of $8,800 and the other of $1,100. They also noticed in Ross's account that the same amounts had been deposited into her accounts on those same dates.
Interesting.
She had also made out 3 separate cash checks to her boyfriend, Reginald Coleman. Reggie was a personal trainer and went by the oh-so-humble name of Mr. Results.
You gotta advertise yourself somehow.
Right. Police arrested all 3 on suspicion of murder, and immediately Stacy began to talk and tell investigators everything. So,
They are very similar.
right? In January 2010, Stacy Schoeck and Loretta Ross got lunch together, and that was when Schoeck told Ross that she wanted her husband killed because she believed that he was molesting her sons.
Oh.
Ross told her that her boyfriend, Reggie Coleman, would kill her husband for her. Reggie apparently did this kind of work on the side for extra money.
Casual side gig.
Right. Schoeck agreed, and Ross told her that she would talk to Reggie about the deal. Schoeck texted Ross over the weekend to see if Ross had spoken to Coleman about what they had discussed at lunch. They set up a time for all of them to meet at Coleman's apartment on January 18th, 2010. This is when they discussed a plan and payment. Ross was the one who suggested that the killing should be in a secluded area. Schoeck shared about a park that was near her grandparents' house and how that it would be a good location. Schoeck agreed to pay Coleman $10,000, would give him her grandparents' 2009 Impala, and the house his girlfriend was currently renting from Schoeck.
Oh.
They all agree that the murder would take place on Valentine's Day and that Coleman would make it look like a robbery, which he did not.
Not at all.
Schoeck gave $600 cash from an ATM nearby to pay Coleman's expenses for purchasing a gun.
So, okay, hold up. So he does this on the side. This is like a side gig, but he doesn't own a gun.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
It gets even more, like, fucking stupid.
Okay.
That same weekend, the 3 of them made their plan, and they also took the time to drive by the park to scope out the area. After that, Schoeck gave Coleman the 2009 Impala and partial payment. She transferred $8,900 to Ross's bank account at the end of January and the additional $1,100 the Friday before Valentine's Day.
Why those amounts?
I have no idea. Ross wrote 3 checks for the amounts of $4,900, $2,500, and $3,632.50 to cash between February 3rd and February 12th. Schoeck left work and went to her grandparents' house where she told Richard to meet her, and then they would go to the park to exchange their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't... I'm assuming she probably told him the same thing about the night nurse, like in waiting for her, and that's why they drove separately.
Right, yeah.
So...
Okay.
Ross called Schoeck to get the color of Richard's truck, and Schoeck later received a text message from Ross saying, "Happy Valentine's Day," after the murder had been committed.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Reyes, the sister-in-law to Juan Reyes, the man Stacy was having an affair with, testified that Stacy had called her to pick up the 2009 Impala from Ross's house. Ross's house was near Jennifer's tattoo shop. Jennifer said that Stacy wanted the car picked up after 9 p.m., but Jennifer could only go earlier in the day. Jennifer said, quote, She had an attitude with me because I wouldn't pick up the car when she wanted me to. She also described Stacy as getting huffy and puffy. Someone ended up driving the car to the tattoo shop and had left the keys with an employee. Never know who that is. Someone brought it there.
I guess she must be really close with the tattoo place.
Well, it's the guy she's having an affair. It's his sister's shop.
Oh, it's her shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
said her tattoo place, I thought it was just like the place she got her tattoos
Oh, no,
often.
like her shop.
Okay. Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yes. So about a month later, Stacy Schoeck contacted Alicia Flores, Juan's mother, about purchasing the car from her. Schoeck seemed in a hurry to get rid of the car, according to Flores' statement. The deal would be that Schoeck would give Flores $3,000 for her 1995 Toyota Camry and sell the Impala for $12,000. When Flores told Schoeck she wasn't sure if she would qualify for the loan, Schoeck told her she would give her the Impala anyway. Schoeck took the Camry and told Flores that she could pay her $100 to $200 a month until the car was paid off. And Flores also said, quote, she even mentioned to me that if I couldn't pay for the car, she would be okay with it. Flores was only able to make 2 payments in April and May before the Hall County Sheriff's Office seized the car.
Sucks.
I felt kind of bad.
That sucks.
Yeah. Because she has obviously gotten it back.
Right. Oh.
Defense attorneys questioned, this was stupid. But the defense attorneys questioned Flores' approval of her son dating a married woman during the cross-examination. This reply is fantastic. Her reply was, quote, "My son is a grown man and he is a divorced person. I cannot make choices as to who he picks to date. It was his choice to see her, not mine."
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what?
At Stacy's trial, victims read their victim impact statement to the court. Many of Richard's co-workers held back tears as they talked about the good man that Richard was and how much he will be missed. Renee Morgan, who is Schoeck's mother, as in Stacy's mom,
Okay.
read a testimony from her 2 younger sons, one saying, quote, "I miss her every hour of every day, just like Daddy Richard." That was from her 10-year-old son, Kevin. Schoeck had believed that Richard was molesting her 14-year-old son, Keith, but those allegations were never proven, and some reports even claim that the children have adamantly denied this to be true.
Wow.
In my opinion, Schoeck really plays up the sympathy card during her trial. She told the court, quote, "I said, I'm going to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and that's what I did, and that's disgustingly awful." She pleaded for mercy at her sentencing, and when she testified against Lynn Wright Ross, she said she had a different motive for taking the stand. She said, quote, "I'm going to testify truthfully for Richard. It's all I can give his mom and his family and his children. All I can give them is the truth." Yeah, that's what I said.
It's like, then don't do it in the first place.
Right. So, Schoeck testified that she had tried to get someone else to do it that she knew did illegal things, but he never called her back. So when Schoeck confided in Ross about her predicament, she said, quote, her response was, "Well, I know somebody who could do that for you." She went on to tell the court, "I didn't know evil could come so easy. I was just like, really? Yeah, you're right. How could evil come so easy? I'm telling you, it's fucking ridiculous." So when addressing why she thought her children were being molested, she said that she was as a child, and she drew this conclusion because her children were acting out. One of them had shoplifted as she had as a teenager. And it was too late before she learned that it wasn't the truth.
Oh my God.
And she said...
Kids shoplift.
Right. He's 14.
Right.
She said, quote, "I was just so fixated in my mind that Richard was doing something wrong that I said, I don't want the cops, I don't want a divorce, I want him dead."
That's the way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
During her testimony against Ross, so she took a plea deal
Okay.
for not to get the death penalty in order to testify against Ross as being the middleman.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh.
So during her testimony against Ross, the defense attorneys questioned her validity with her statements. They asked her, quote, "You think your children are being abused and you leave them with their abuser? Is that what you're telling this jury?" They also asked her how she could sleep next to her husband for a month, knowing that she was going to kill him. Her response was, quote, "I said whatever I had to say to accomplish my goal of killing Richard that night." Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, the prosecutor's case against Lynn Reedy Rice was for her being the middleman between Schoeck and Coleman. Schoeck made a plea deal with prosecutors not to seek the death penalty if she testified against Ross, and Ross was found guilty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Dang.
Reggie Coleman also pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. At Stacy Schoeck's sentencing, the judge didn't doubt that Stacy had been molested when she was a child. However, he emphasized that this crime was premeditated, saying, quote, "This wasn't a spur of the moment, heat of the moment crime. It was very, very premeditated." Schoeck also received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. As for Richard's family, they are glad to have closure with his case, but his sister commented, quote, "It will never be behind us. We're trying to get a little closure to it. This is my closure, getting everyone to know he's not been forgotten." As for her thoughts on her ex-sister-in-law, quote, "She was such a cowardly woman that couldn't keep herself in control and never had anyone that stood up to her. When you get too much power and control, you just believe you can do anything." So, did Stacy really have her husband killed because she believed he was harming her children? Well, I leave you with this. Richard had a $500,000 life insurance policy that would have gone to Stacy in the event of his death. So you decide the motive behind the murder.
How long after? Okay, I'm curious. Did they have this life insurance policy like way ahead of time?
Did not say because she never actually said that was why. That part is speculation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
Oh, 100% she wanted the money. 5th fucking marriage? Like... I was when I first started reading this, I'm like, oh, she probably killed the other ones.
Yeah.
Like, that's immediately what I thought.
And also, my thing that I always just think is the weirdest is like, how do two people who want to murder someone find each other? You know, there's always like people like will cooperate together to murder. How do you just have all these friends who are going to do this hit for you?
Apparently he does it on the side for extra money.
Like what? What?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, man.
Valentine's Day, man. Not very lovely.
These cases certainly weren't full of love.
No, they weren't. Crimes of passion?
Maybe.
Misdirected.
Rage. Misdirected love.
They're all stupid.
Not in, like illegal love. Love that shouldn't have happened. Affairs, incest. Nothing's good.
Lies. Greed.
Lies, love, and incest. No, gross.
That cannot be the title of this episode. Oh my God.
Well, thanks for listening.
If you're still listening.
We still have our Google Doc for stickers. You can find it in our...
It's still in the...
support page.
Yes, it's obviously still there, but I meant it's also in... The link is also still in our bio on Instagram.
Oh, yes. So go on there for $1.50. Wow, I said that weird. For $1.50, you can get a sticker with a nice little thank you card from Mackenzie and I. And for $2.50, you get that same sticker, but you get a personalized card from Mackenzie and I.
Yes. That's all we got.
That's all we got for you. Oh, follow us on all the things, like us on all the things. Greatly appreciated.
Tell everybody you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Spread the love.
Good one.
Thank you. So stay scary.
Stay safe.